this comes up in the book, and I think it's a major issue, but you've seen over the last, I don't know how long, I'm 35, but at least over the course of my lifetime, and I think before then, you've seen the breakdown of certain of these more local, civic institutions, the churches, the synagogues, these community institutions that do a lot of what I think in some places the government is expected to do.
Yeah, true.
And you talk in the book, about this idea you want to be able to seek reform, acknowledging any problems that you do actually have, and there are many, uh, without fracture. And it feels like over the last couple of generations, we've had a lot of fracture, and I'm not sure how much reform we've had.
Hmm.
And I'd be interested in your response to that and what you see as a way forward.
Well, we have had a fracturing of our institutions. In many cases, you've had an excess of governmental control of the institutions of civil society. Parents' rights, for example, have eroded. Um, in the elite sectors of the culture in universities, you'll find people who basically have adopted the view that children belong to the state, and the parents are sort of performing a state function or have a delegated power from the state to perform certain functions for children, but basically children are uh,
Hmm.
the children belong to the state and not to the parents. It's exactly backwards. Uh,
Mm,
children belong to their parents, not as property, of course, but they belong to the
right.
parents, and the state's role is subsidiary. It's secondary. There's a role for the state, and certainly in cases of abuse and neglect, the state does have to come in. No question about that. But we've got to make sure we have the understanding correct, and that is that children belong to their parents. The parents' rights are primary. The state's role here is secondary. Now, parents have the rights that they have because they have duties to their children. Children need their parents, and they need their parents to perform the duties the parents owe to those children. And the
Hmm.
rights parents have, they have because those rights need to be respected if they are to perform their or fulfill their obligations, their duties. So I want to get everything in the proper order here, and that
Yeah.
would, in most cases, mean that the state or institutions of the state are in a secondary or tertiary role, and institutions of civil society, beginning with the family, are in the primary role.